Trekkers and Trekkies, got another Art Asylum Star Trek Enterprise figure, starting with an unboxing. Actually, technically a couple of unboxing, but one of them is we're only going to open the one box. So, like I said previously, while I had some of the figures for Wave 1, I lost them to the annals of history. So I don't have any of the crew in their standard uniform. Hopefully someday I will get those again. Would be really cool to have that. I do have the captain's chair and weapons station play sets that we will look at in a future video. Which is why I know I had Captain Archer and I had Malcolm Reed. So... anyways, and in fact, the bad thing is I've still got the accessories for the figures, which that's a weird twist to be able to say that I still have the accessories, but I don't have the figures. Oh well. What I do have is we've got Chief Engineer Tucker, Trip Tucker, got Science Officer T'Pol, and Dr. Phlox, all wearing their EV suits. And if you've been watching the previous videos, I've talked a little bit about how, at the time, Art Asylum, which later became Diamond Select, used rubber pieces for making some of the things on their figures. And unfortunately, we're going to get to see some of the 20 years on bad side effects of using that rubber. We'll see that when we get to it. But we're going to start with Commander Tucker in the box, and we will take him out. So, going to magic. So we see he's got that coin like we talked about in the past. And actually, real quick, here is what the coin looks like. It's the Art Asylum logo on one side and the Enterprise logo on the other. He's got his space helmet, oxygen tanks, and as soon as I get these, there we go. So, there he is in the spacesuit, and I believe if you undo the little latches, there we go. There. He is free of his suit. And I will go ahead and show you that the helmet does pop on. It is kind of difficult. There you go. Looks kind of like that. We'll look at it on him in a minute, but give you a chance to look at the head sculpt. Again, these were, they did take and 3D scan the actors in order to get the head sculpts for these. Just like all of the other Art Asylum and Diamond Select figures, this little piece here was made of rubber. The cuffs around here, if you can see, if I can get my finger to get underneath, you can see that's rubber. I think that might have been it on these. Don't feel any other pieces. They didn't come with a whole lot of accessories for these, but that's because the backpack was the accessories, which the oxygen tanks plugged in to the back here, like that. And yeah, it's a good sculpt. It's a good figure, and they pretty much, I think, just reused this body for doing the EV suit versions of Captain Archer, and I think they did Archer and Tucker and Mayweather, and of course the Dr. Phlox. The Dr. Phlox one I think is actually a little bit different, which we'll get to it in just a few minutes. So I'll just set him to the side, and I'll bring in Sub-Commander T'Pol, who was the science officer. I've got her all decked out so that you can see what it looks like with the helmet on, but it does all come off in the same way. Now, of course, they simply reused the head sculpts that they had made for Wave 1 for all of these figures. It was pretty obvious. And then they did, which this was where one of the things that's interesting, is that they made a Hoshisato figure in the spacesuit, but not in her regular uniform, which annoyed a lot of fans. So the fact that they had the head sculpt and they didn't make a body for her, a lot of people suspected it was because they couldn't reuse that body for any other figures, whereas with the male body for Archer, Mayweather, so forth, I think they made two versions of it. One was a broader shouldered build and one was a thinner shoulder build. But anyways, yeah, so Sub-Commander T'Pol, played by Jolene Blaylock. I forgot to mention Connor Trinneer played Chief Engineer or Reed, or no, Tucker. I'm sorry, I'm having a brain fart moment. And of course, the two of them had the whole romantic thing. That's why I've got them holding hands, is that they're in love. And they're going to go over there, but of course, they're not going to be able to do this without the help of. And this is the kind of the fun thing. This is the box that my Dr. Phlox came in, which, if you know anything about it, it is the one, signed by John Billingsley. That's his autograph. Official collector's edition, number 2300. I almost had to tilt my glasses down on that one, folks. I'm getting old. So, get him out of the box, and he looks like this. Which, first thing that you'll spot that's interesting is that he comes with his head already in the helmet and separate. We'll get to that in a second. Also comes with a replacement set of hands. Not real sure what led to that decision, but, you know, okay. I guess you wanted to add some extras in there. So, let me pop him out and... Oh, look, there we're going to see the first problem. Do you see these rubber pieces that are used for the little straps here? On my Dr. Phlox figure, they are degrading and falling off. And in this case has completely fallen off. So I'm going to just be real careful, set that over there while we look at him, because I don't want this to get in too much worse condition. As I show you that what they did was they made the helmet with his head in a jar, just like that. I don't know. I've never tried. No. So this one, you have to just boop, boop. Do like that. So you can have him with his head without the helmet, is the way that you have to do that. And the shoulder piece does not come off on his. It is it is sculpted into the body. which is significantly different from the other figures. Don't know what brought that decision on. I kind of like it that you can remove the shoulder packs and they can have a little more range of movement, but yeah, that's the decisions that they made. So yeah, well, that does it for the EV suited figures, the head in the jar. It does so much look like a head in a jar. Wave 2 that I have of Star Trek Enterprise figures. Hopefully I can get some more in the future. I'd love to get a hold of the Hoshi figure, because that one is a harder one to get. So I'm going to get these put back up, especially my Dr. Flock, so that he doesn't fall apart anymore, because you can see that that those rubber pieces are crumbling. I do like the Diamond Select / Art Asylum figures because they were so good, but the choices to do the rubber stuff was probably a little too hopeful because it has led to problems 20 years on down the road. But otherwise, they are really cool. Tell me what you think of them. Tell me, do you like the rubber pieces? Do you like the fact that you can move the stuff around easier? And I'll see you next time. Go out and make something. If you enjoy my videos and want to see more, please like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell icon. If you want to support me, you can find me on Patreon or go over to Zazzle for prints of my artwork, t-shirts, and other cool stuff. If you're still here, why? Do you want to jam out?